broadcasting to you from the rectum of the universe. Prepare yourself for the dulcet tones of a man from Barnsley in the heart of Yorkshire, England. A show about music, life, and a whole lot of bullshit. Hold on to your flat caps, open a cold one, and let's get this show on the road. It's the Matt Black Podcast.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Matt Black Podcast. I hope you're well and staying safe out there despite all the weird and wonderful things that are happening in the world right now. I'm currently locked away in my not-so-ivory tower, so I decided to start a podcast. It's something that I've been thinking about launching for a couple of years now, but it's going to be a great way for me to talk about a range of subjects that interest me and hopefully you lovely people who's listening, wherever you are. You'll be happy to know it's not just going to be myself speaking for an hour. There will be a guest on each show. So I'd love for you guys to get in touch with me at mattblackpodcast@gmail.com as the show goes on, because I'd like to hear your thoughts on the things that we talk about, make some suggestions, and if you've got something interesting that you'd like to share with the group, then feel free to throw that my way in the form of an email. This will be available across various podcast formats and also in video format, so you can find it on YouTube, so be sure to search for Matt Black UK and subscribe there. For the ones that don't know, I'm a musician and a writer from England, so to anyone outside the UK, I don't speak like the Queen because I'm northern and there's a real mixed bag of accents up here, so as I get various guests from around the area to come and visit, you may need a translator to understand, so I apologise for that. I'm currently the singer of a band called FAHRAN, which is spelled FAHRAN. We're a Nottingham-based rock/metal band. We've done various things over the last 7 years, so be sure to look for us on FAHRAN.com and you can find out a little bit more about that. I'm also working with Zal Cleminson from the sensational Alex Harvey band and Nazareth. We've got a project together called Orphans of the Ash, so we're working on new music for that right now. And then finally, I'm also the author of a couple of books called Beyond the Nether, which is How Not to Live with a Mental Illness, and a book called Ricky the Rockstar, which is a music-related children's book, both of which you can find on Amazon. So this week my first guest is going to be Mr. Dale Radcliffe from a Sheffield band called Cop UK. They produce some very polished melodic hard rock, and they've completed some amazing tours across the UK and Europe with some big names across the rock and metal scene. Dale is actually someone that I've known since 2006, and he's a very accomplished vocalist and all-round kind of great human being, to be honest with you. We recorded this little chat on Monday the 12th of October, which was the morning before we found out about the new restrictions across our area and in regards to lockdown, so we were very lucky to kind of squeeze that in last moment. You'll find that we talk about some music, new and old, the scene that we've both come from, and some challenges that we've both faced in and out of the industry, and a lot more, so I hope you enjoy it. Okay guys, we're back now with Dale Radcliffe from Cop UK. How we doing?
I'm alright, how are you?
I'm alright, yeah.
You know what they say, a little bit of we is not going to stop me being me.
Is that why you're wearing black?
Yeah, it is, yes.
Yeah, he's covered in my dog's hair though right now.
I am, yeah.
He's a bit of a white polar bear, the dog. And then, yeah, so obviously I want to talk about some music stuff today. Anything that Dale's interested in as well, really.
Oh dear.
So yeah, I thought
anything that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you just get a little bit closer to your mic, because obviously you might be talking a bit quieter than me. I've got a big Yorkshire Barnsley accent. You've got a more polite Sheffield accent, haven't you?
I'm polite. I don't know whether that's the right word.
You're more polite than me.
That's because we're being recorded.
It is actually. I'm trying my hardest to make sure I'm not going, all right, cock, how they doing?
I'm trying my best not to be Sean Ryder with an F in between every like I did on Chris Evans' show.
You are allowed to swear if you want to.
Bum.
So yeah, we're gonna. Obviously, this has been recorded for YouTube as well. So there are people that's just going to be listening to audio. So if you're going to do any kind of weird movements, you might have to explain what they are so people will know what you're talking about.
Coffee cup going to lips right now.
All right. Yeah. So just for the people that might not know who Dale is, let's find out a little bit more. So can you tell us a bit more about COP UK? What you're all about then?
Yeah, I mean, COP's been going for about 15 years, or we were known as Crimes of Passion, which the next album will be out under the moniker of Crimes of Passion again. But it was a label decision when we were on the label ICS, you know, the whole sort of Wacken kind of crowd. We were on their record label. And Crimes of Passion, for some reason, isn't like a catchphrase in German. So they didn't quite get it. So they wanted a short, sharp logo. So we agreed on, rather than a name change, using COP. So we're still Crimes of Passion because they wanted a short, you know, instantly recognisable logo rather than the sort of gothic style writing like Crimes of Passion or, you know. So really we go out under Crimes of Passion and COP UK, but it's the same thing. The COP just means Crimes of Passion, simple as that.
Yeah.
So we are the same thing, but the next album is going back out under Crimes of Passion.
I wish we could just use F for FAHRAN, really. The amount of misspelled posters I've seen, or people announcing us at festivals as
totally, yeah.
FAHRAN.
It's not an everyday.
FAHRAN.
Yeah, it's not an everyday word, is it? So,
no.
So you know, it's up for misinterpretation, isn't it? You know?
To be honest, the band, they were there before I even joined, so I can remember seeing it because I'd seen them when they were called Toxic Federation, which was very 80s.
Yeah,
and when they changed the name, I looked at that, even I thought, that's a crap name, that.
I think it's all right, that.
But it's really grown on me now, but I think I'm biased. So
but I think FAHRAN's more unusual.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's the amount of times like you can search for a band name, can't you? And it's just something else comes up. You know, you search, like when people search my stage name, cars come up and paint comes up and
oh no, totally. I know.
Nice toasters
I know
from
that.
B&Q.
I mean, my car, the colour of my car is matte black, and I can't begin to tell you the number of times I've been looking for some vinyl wrap to touch bits up, and you've come up instead.
Yeah,
on Google.
I know. Yeah, maybe we should shop. You know, like we'll swap cars or something. Really, that could be a good idea.
To be honest, I've got the car you should have then.
Yeah. So I really think that you'd prefer a 2010 Vauxhall Insignia that needs a clutch spring.
Insignia. Can I just read you an extract from Top Gear magazine? Not my words, Matt. The words of Jeremy Clarkson.
I did all right with it though, because I now research cars. I used to buy cars for how they looked as opposed to how they perform or how well they do, shall I say, as a reliable wise. Because I used to buy like hairdresser cars and French cars, like little pretty French cars, and get Mick took out of me for it, and then they break down like every month and cost me a fortune, and then which upsets me because I can't buy nice guitars instead. Then
yeah, money pit cars, nice cars and money pits. Totally.
Yeah, well, that's our kind of approach now. It's like me and my other half Libby we buy just generally cheap cars now because we like holidays and we like we like gin and beers and stuff. And we've got
who doesn't?
Yeah.
Apart from I'm allergic to gin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really? I love it. I love gin, but it makes, you know, that dangly thing in the back of your throat.
Penis.
That's that's the one. Oh dear, you're too sharp, you. That little dangly bit in the back of your throat there. That if I drink gin, that swells up to like the size of a golf ball and I can't breathe and possibly could die.
You don't want that, do you?
It's happened a couple of times, and it's been when I've been on gin. And then we had a few years back, we were supposed to be doing a festival at some castle in Germany, with a band called Beyond the Black, who was supposed to be supporting them. And we never got there because of that massive traffic jam going down to Dover, like a 14-hour traffic jam. So we ended up sort of staying around that area for night, going out on Lash, and I had a few Guinnesses, which that's my sort of tipple Guinness, and then Kev's cousin Andy kept coming back from bar with it. And I said, "What is it? This?" And he says, "Cucumber wine," because it had a slice of cucumber in it. And I'm like, "Oh, this is nice." Didn't tell me it was gin and tonic, did he? And if it had said, "I'm going to get you a gin and tonic," I said, "No, I'm allergic to gin." So the following morning, I woke up, my throat like, I can't breathe.
Ooh. That's cucumber. Cucumber's wrong. We shouldn't eat it. It tastes like crap.
Ugh.
Plus, you don't know what's happened to it before you've got it as well, do you?
It wasn't wrapped in cling film or anything, so...
No.
No.
Oh, right. So obviously, I want to delve a little bit more into Cop UK, Crimes of Passion. Obviously, you've got a German label, which...
We're not on a label now.
No, you're not?
No.
It's changed?
No.
You seem to have been a bit quiet in this past 6 months or so.
We took a little bit of a break. I mean, obviously, last 6 months, obviously, COVID has put a stop to... or a big delay on everything. We were supposed to be recording. Well, it would have been recorded by now if it wasn't for COVID. It's pretty much mostly written, and I'm supposed to be starting recording now and doing the first 3 tracks towards the end of November. With Sasha. So we're not actually on a label anymore. So we're literally at a fresh start again, a little bit. So we're going to get the album sorted and then shop for a deal after that, basically. So completely fresh start again, really.
Back in my boat.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment. We're just kind of like recording demos and working on a few bits and bobs, and then we are going to record. Probably it's going to be into next year. I think it's probably going to be like May time, and then we'll see what happens from there. Because we've kind of got a few people that people sniff around, but then you think, oh, they promise all these things, and then I think as such with music industry in it, really, it's kind of
things change quicker than your underpants, honestly.
And everybody wants some shekel from you as well, don't they? All the time and they promise you the earth.
Yeah.
And then 10% of that might appear.
Yeah.
But we're just kind of going to play it by ear, see what happens with that, really.
That's all you can do.
Yeah. So are you guys still under the same management as well, or has that changed? Or
we've just gone back to Lucky Bob management. We took a little bit of a break, I'll be honest. I mean, we had a fairly hectic few years where we were out with everybody and we were all over the world. I mean, we'd done like South Korea, Russia, Siberia, Taiwan, and we did all these. We went out with Rage, the metal band Rage, and that was on Lucky Bob management. So we went all over the place with these guys, and obviously the score. It was a big financial drain for us, although wouldn't change the experience for the world. Absolutely amazing, and I'd do it again tomorrow. But we all needed a bit of a break. It'd been quite hectic. It'd been very expensive for us because me and Kev are the kind of financial people of this band, and everybody else sort of at the time was getting paid. So not only were we paying for flights, accommodation, but also paying the wages. And this is all out of mine and Kev's pocket.
Yeah.
So once we'd come back from doing all that, we had a little bit of time out to recoup financially, and also obviously get the heads down and concentrate on writing next album, which should have been recorded by now, as I say, but because of COVID, we're all 12 months behind now, aren't we, really?
Yeah.
And depending on the situation next month, providing there's no restrictions on flying or where you can go to, and then all being well, I'm going and doing the first 3 tracks with Sasha next month. But obviously, only if it's safe to do so. We've just got to see the situation.
Yeah, I'm going to say that there seems to be a lot of bands that still kind of, they're getting together, but they're standing at opposite ends of studios to record and just getting by. We've only just kind of got to a point where we're like, well, let's be in the same room again now, because we've had such a long time apart from it. And it's been weird because I've kind of took it as, it's been nice to have that break and recharge batteries. We literally finished a tour at the I think like the 1st of March might have been last date of the tour, just going around the UK, and then obviously lockdown hit. I mean, we were quite lucky because the guys were saying, "Oh yeah, we don't really want to tour in February. It's a bit close to Christmas and stuff." But it's a good job we did. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been playing this. We wouldn't have played this year at all.
No,
so.
exactly.
But yeah, no, I took it quite well I quite like the empty roads and.
Yeah.
I'm not it's strange. Like for someone, obviously, I'm a person in a band, and we play to crowds, but I don't particularly like crowds of people. I don't like being in them.
I'm a little bit. I don't like being amongst a lot of people in a bar and stuff. I suppose it's different in a way. It's nice to have a big crowd at a gig, but you're on the stage. You're not sandwiched in between everybody. You're on the stage, aren't you? So you've got your attention and the buzz and everything, but you're not sandwiched in between them all.
Yeah.
It's like at gigs, I can't be down the front and sandwiched in with everyone. I don't like it. A little claustrophobic, I guess.
Some people live for it, don't they? They like. Yeah. I've been to festivals. Normally, when I've never been to a festival willingly. I think I've been dragged to every festival as a punter.
Yeah.
And then kind of been stood near at front, and then you hear music drop, and then they say, "Are you ready?" And then suddenly you start seeing partings of people, and I just think, "Shit, I need to get out of here." Quick. It's not my cup of tea.
No.
But no, I've took lockdown quite well, really. I know some people really struggled.
I've missed, obviously, the fact that Crimes of Passion now are 12 months behind, so obviously I've missed that. The album should have been recorded. We should have been doing something to try and nail some sort of deal and so on and so on. But it is what it is. I've missed my Tin Man covers band, which play, I don't know, only about once a month or something, but I love it, but I missed all that. We've had 2 rehearsals with Tin Man. And my voice, it shows that I've not sung for 6 months. So
yeah, you feel it, don't you?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, absolutely.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of like one of the most terrifying feelings as well, because I always think if I took a bit of a break from singing and then I try and go up for something, kind of in the clouds where I normally am, and then it's a struggle, and I think, is this the decline now? Am I going to turn into like Whitesnake and everything's like 2 tones lower or something like that?
I think that's the only time I get nervous. I don't get nervous at all unless there's something wrong with my voice. If I know there's something wrong with my voice, then I'm nervous. If there's nothing wrong with my voice and I know I'm gonna, then no nerves whatsoever.
Yeah.
But like now, I think the next gig that I have, I think I'll be a little bit on edge because I've not sung properly for 6 months, and I think, am I going to last that? Am I going to last the first set? Am I going to? I don't know. So I think from being totally confident now, I'm going to be, I don't know, maybe a little bit pooping myself. Is my voice still there? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not so bad recording because you can do the same line over and over, and you can take a break. So it's not so bad recording.
Yeah.
But
Forwards, water.
Yeah,
forwards.
But live, different kettle of fish. Particularly with the Tin Man thing. I mean, with the Crimes of Passion thing, I do my own thing. I wrote the vocal lines, so they're written around my capabilities and my style. But with the Tin Man stuff, the covers, I mean, there's some exceptional covers in there, copying some of the most amazing singers. And can I hack that? After 6 months off, can I hack that? But,
No,
I'm supposed to have had it. I was 52 weeks ago. And I was supposed to have had a big Tin Man gig and party on my 50th at the church house in Sheffield, and I was gutted that obviously the wise thing to do was pull all that, really, So it might have to be that might have to be saved until like 50 3/4.
Yeah, you could wait till it all settles down and then just do like a David Lee Roth and pretend 50 never happened, and then turn 50 next year.
Yeah, I think this year never happened. So whether it be on my 51st or whether I'm 50 1/4 or 50 1/2 or 50, I'll do it.
I'm just gonna have a party.
I'm just gonna have a party.
Yeah.
Book the church house. Just get everybody I know there and just do my Tin Man thing. And then if anyone wants to get up and have a bit of a laugh with us, whatever, That's what I wanted to do, and I kind of gutted that because that was one of the big focal points. Was my 50th birthday party being at a gig and But I ended up. I went to Caravan at Cleethorpes instead.
Wild. I don't know if I think I'd prefer that, to be honest with you. If it's
I'll tell you what then. When it comes to my 50 3/4, I'll send you to my mum's caravan while I have a party. Then, if you prefer.
I like your caravan. I've been to your caravan.
I know,
before.
It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah. I can remember because I'd just had a fresh tattoo done, and then we cooked pizzas, and then I burnt my arm on the oven.
And then we were late for getting you to gig.
One of my ladies had a like a big line across her face.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's gone away though.
It's gone away.
Yeah, I've healed. I'm like some kind of special
I remember
gerbil.
we got you to your gig. You were on with Danny Vaughan, weren't you? At the Yardbirds.
Yeah, we were late.
Was
as
it
well.
Danny Vaughan?
Yeah.
And he weren't very pleased, were he?
No, he weren't, because we because we rang a taxi because we said, we'll have a drink.
Yeah.
After as soon as we finished, because I think I only had like a 20-30 minute set.
Yeah.
So I thought, cool, we'll watch Danny Vaughan and we'll just drink loads of Jägermeister and stuff, which I've not touched for years now because I can't hack it.
Oh, no, I've had some. I used to love it, and then I've had some pretty big vom sessions on it. Now I can't even smell the damn stuff now. Yeah.
No, I can remember. It must have been somewhere around 2011 or 12, and I played Firefest with an old band, and I bumped into you on the Friday.
Yeah.
And first thing Caroline said to me was, "Oh, Dale's been sick up my back." Obviously not there and then. The night before. This is before the event even started. And you're you're not a couple unless you've had an in-betweeners moment like that and vommed on your partner. You said all I remember is you being quite upset that there were not one diced carrot in there or sun-dried tomato.
No, I've never.
Which is unusual.
Carrot. Mine's it's just like baby poo. Yeah.
You'd never have piccalilli again.
It's one of them first night syndrome, isn't it? You get to Hard Rock Out, and it's just like, and then second day you're like a bit delicate and taking it a bit steady, and then
because I don't. Well, I think you're the same as me. You don't drink before you go on normally. Not very often.
Debatable.
Sometimes I think you've gone through phases, didn't you? See, I went through like a phase, maybe like the first half of me doing gigs, I would be just drunk from all, and then wondering why it sounded like crap when you see someone's mobile phone upload, and then after a while, like, better, not drink on stage, and because I used to say things, and I used to watch it back afterwards and go, and just like I just want earth to swallow me. But then no, I was drinking before Firefest because I wasn't really nervous, and it was first time in a long time I'd been nervous, and I think I'd been in a pub. I think it's called. Is it Tap and Tumbler?
There is a Tap and Tumbler.
Round corner from it. I were in there, and it was like Friday afternoon, and I were drinking. I thought, I'll have one or two, and then I bumped into some people that I knew, and then they kept buying me drinks. So like, I had all these drinks, and then they said, you're playing today, aren't you? And I said, yeah. And they said, what time are you on? I think it's like half past 6, and it was 25 past 6.
No.
So I had to run. After about 8 bottles, I think I don't know, it might have been Beck's or something I was drinking. Like 8 or 9 bottles of Beck's, and I tried to run to Rock City, which isn't that far, but it's uphill. And when you're in the state I were in at the time, and the shape I were in at the time as well, I just walked on, and then someone gave me that microphone. They dropped curtain, and I'm just smiling, and I just looked like I was really pumped for a gig, but realistically, I thought, I'm going to collapse any minute now.
Oh dear.
And then I was trying to sing all this like Tony Mills stuff that were in the gods all the time.
Yeah.
No, it were a killer. And that's one of them that I've watched back and gone, no. Let's not share this on Facebook on my profile.
Yeah. But it'll be there somewhere because somebody will film it on the phone and put it on for you.
Even there's things that like sometimes you put something on your YouTube channel and you think that's all right, and then over time you go, I might delete that from 2 years ago because it's awful. It's making me cringe. But then someone else has like downloaded it off a YouTube channel and put it on their own.
It's whenever people first sort of find out about my band, people that don't know me, and usually Carol will say, he's in a band, it's like constantly being out with your PR.
Yeah.
And they, check it out. And I don't let them search for something on their own. because I've no doubt they'll find something. Me at my worst moment that someone's filmed on the phone.
Dale's 50th.
And I think so I'm always selective, and I tell them exactly what to search for, so that they get one that I know that I'm happy with. Either a proper video that's been recorded properly.
Yeah.
I always try and divert them away from something that someone's filmed on the phone, a bum note or something. I mean, they always get your worst point, don't they?
Oh yeah. I don't like when people film a gig and then they sing while holding the phone straight in front of the face like that.
Yeah,
so all you can actually hear is them just going like, "Whoa, we're halfway there."
Yeah. That's not FAHRAN song?
No, no, it is actually. Yeah, that's actually the audio recording of me singing it though, not them, not the audience member. Oh. Right, I've got a bit of a schedule I wanted to talk about and stuff, but yeah. Obviously, we've both done lots of different things, and obviously, you're a little bit, just a tad older than me, since you've turned 50, and I'm going to be 35 in March.
Oh,
so, we've both done some similar things, especially on the lower level. Probably more commonly on the lower level, because that's for me especially. So we've both done like working men's clubs over the years.
Totally.
And I really wanted to talk about working men's clubs today, just because
okay.
It's really bizarre. Because obviously, I don't know if it's changed from when you were doing it. Obviously, my granddad used to do working men's clubs, and we were in a working men's club the other day because my partner Libby, she does working men's clubs, and she played a rundle in Sheffield, and my granddad said
that's around the corner from me.
Yeah, he said I played that 50 years ago, which just is it sounds mental when you think about music venues that come and go. Over the years.
I'm not sure whether Arundel or Park and Arborthorne or Manor Social. There were 3 in a row on City Road. I remember us playing one, Tiger's Eye, obviously 20 years ago. Tiger's Eye playing one on New Year's Eve in there. And a fight broke out, and sound desk and everything went over. Never went back.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's like I started doing them like around, I think it was 2006. So I think I was about 19. And then obviously I were in a band with our mutual friend, Mr. John Hardman.
Well, that's when I first met you.
Yeah.
When you were rehearsing in the same block of rehearsal rooms as Crimes of Passion. And that's when I first met you.
You guys had only been going like a year around that time as well.
We went to that pub across the road from where they...
the one that everyone said were haunted.
That's the one, yeah. Carbrook Hall? Carbrook?
That's it, Carbrook,
yeah. It's now a Starbucks, that, I think. It's a Starbucks, yeah. Carbrook. I'm sure at Carbrook. But that's when I first met you, because I saw John, and you were obviously with John.
Yeah.
So John had wheeled you across in your pram.
Yeah.
Give you some Sunny D.
Oh. No, that was the time
I think you were about 12, weren't you? Or something?
Yeah. Fagging between each finger and a pint.
Yeah.
No, because I can remember everybody were all talking about guitars and amps and tone and valves and pedals and effects and string gauge, and you just turned to me and said, "What hand do you hold your mic in?" Yeah. And that were it then. We got nothing else to talk about for an hour.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
No, it's weird because it's like I really got excited when I started doing it. So we're obviously like really young and the fire kind of fires in your belly and stuff, and I loved it at first, and then obviously you encounter like concert secretaries and certain punters, and when you're sound checking and stuff, and there's them certain few people who are coming in as you're sound checking, and they're saying,
gentlemen, please welcome on stage Tiger Eyes. It's not Tiger Eyes, it's Tiger's Eye. Sorry. Tiger Eye. Tiger's Eye.
We used to, because obviously we were called Stage Fright, which I think that was just a name kind of recommended by an agent who chose it, which I hated it at first. And over time, John said to me, he said, "Oh, there's a Def Leppard song called Stage Fright. We could play that song and have that kind of theme." So like, all right, cool, yeah, we'll do that then. But the amount of times that people would get it wrong and call us Fright Night and things like that, which
there was a Fright Night.
Which if you're not from Yorkshire area or ever went to working men's clubs, they were almost a little bit of comedy-esque kind of rock band, and they'd do a lot of things from like Rocky Horror Picture Show, and the singer would wear suspenders and tights, and obviously they'd be quite disappointed when I turned up.
My groin's not on show, is it, while you're talking about suspenders?
No, I don't think so.
So it's all right then.
It's all right. We can put something in the way. Yeah, I could put like Charles Autry's head or
Put
something
a
like
white,
that for you.
Put a white sheet over it.
Yeah. But no, we it's weird. It's like when we did working men's clubs, I felt like it kind of moulded me as a performer in a way, because I felt like I was kind of ready for anything.
I'll be honest. They'll not put up with crap on working men's clubs, so you've got to be good. It does. It's a good training ground. I say if you've done working men's clubs, you can pretty much tackle anything.
Yeah,
it's a good training ground, and it does breed some really good musicians, because they will not put up with crap. There's a lot of very talented people doing clubs, and you've got to be up there with them. Otherwise, you just get booed off.
Oh yeah,
or not booked back. It's as simple as that. It's a good breeding ground. It really is.
No, I noticed like when I first started doing gigs, it was like the first time I'd ever done a gig without a guitar, because they were like, well, we just need a singer, we don't need a guitarist. I'm like, right. I've always played guitar and stuff, so I felt like, so I just hold onto the microphone with my eyes shut and just and not really speak between gigs and stuff, and just kind of mumble what the next song is and stuff like that. In fact, I used to put notes on the set list telling me things to say, because I'd just go blank and like be terrified. But then after like so many years, it's like you get to a point where you've heard everything that they could possibly say to you. So it's like now when I go out and we'll do FAHRAN shows and we'll play like big festivals and stuff like that, and you can hear people at front shouting stuff, and I think, well, I've got a microphone, I can almost purposely misinterpret what you've said to make you look stupid. So it's like I've got every trick in the book now, and I feel like I've got this catalogue of responses that I can just annihilate him with. I love it.
Beyond the Nether, How Not to Live with a Mental Illness. The debut non-fiction novel from Matt Black. Available on Amazon.
Okay guys, we're back now. We're going to do something that's a little bit bizarre, and I kind of just want to catch you off guard with it. It's called Would You Rather. So I've got a few...
I would.
Little hand... you've not listened to what I've got to say yet. Right then, so it's just 3 little Would You Rathers. I'd like to know what your choice is, and then potentially why you choose that.
Okay.
So... they're not really very normal, to be honest with you. So
I didn't expect them to be normal from you, to be honest.
Okay, so your number 1 on your Would You Rathers is, would you rather have penises for fingers or bollocks for toes?
Penises for fingers?
Yeah. Is that what you'd rather have that?
Yeah.
And why?
They've got the ability to check the oil on 10 girls at once.
But unless you like looking at something interesting, they'd not be really useful, would they? Because they'd just be like swinging a squid around.
Yeah, because we've all done that.
No, I can't afford squid in Barnsley. Oh, actually, when I'm thinking about it now, I'm more like, bollocks for toes would be really uncomfortable every time you took a step. If you walk too fast.
I just imagine being on treadmill, being agony. If you got bollocks for toes, I don't know. I'm
going to say it's like...
football. Can you imagine football? I don't play football, but can you imagine football with bollocks for toes? You'd have to wear safety boots.
Yeah, it's like you got to be careful like how you sit as a man, haven't you? So it's like you can't just jump onto a chair. Like, especially a hard seat, for it could potentially be disastrous, really.
I'll never forget a bollock story that my dad told me. My dad's dad told me. That's
Grandad for people that don't understand family tree.
I'm not sure whether it was at a swimming baths, but when they used to have when the benches in the changing rooms were just like wooden slats.
Oh yeah. The gap.
Yeah, well, my granddad saw a guy sat down drying his feet, and then he stood up and just shouted out in agony because his bollock, because they're oval, it had gone through slat, turned round, and he stood up and stretched his scrotum like that, and it just trapped in it, and he just shouted out in agony.
I don't think I can continue. I feel really... you feel a bit sensitive and fragile.
You started it.
I don't know. I never really thought this through. It's right. It kind of reminds me of the... I don't know. So obviously we went to school at different times, didn't they? You start at 8:30. No, We used to have in like science block, we have like the long bench with all your Bunsen burner taps and gas taps and stuff.
Yeah.
And we used to have these like high stools with
Oh.
the little holes in them to put your hand in so you could carry them.
Yeah.
And we we used to take it in turns to like, when teacher should be writing on board, and you have to like crawl on your hands and knees to the row in front of you, and then you get a pen, and your friends would have to guess which one you were going to stab up the arse. And you'd just be watching like 6 people in a row, and then one would just go, whoa!
I think that should be brought back as a game instead of like the chase or something.
But then televise it.
Yeah. Have it on, instead of the chase or something like that.
What would you call it though?
One up the bum, no harm done. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think
with Bradley Walsh.
we can't base it in schools though.
Yeah.
It depends who's presenting it, I guess. Really. We're going to let you out for an hour a week. Yeah. You're going to present this new show. Maybe not. Okay then. So number 2 is, would you rather fart every time someone says hello to you, or cry loudly every time someone says goodbye?
I think fart when people say hello. Because I, to be honest with you, I'm not that far from that now anyway. so kind of almost 50% used to that anyway.
You kind of did when you saw my dog anyway, with it being like waist height polar bear.
It's not a dog, it's a werewolf.
Yeah. Stinky Pete. I might get him in one time as a bit of a guest. I'll just kind of put a bowl of treats here, and he will sit there for as long as possible, as long as needed, really. I've had to turn we've got a doorbell that goes around the house it's kind of connected at different areas, so I had to like turn it off because it plays under the sea, and then if the postman comes, it sends Pete mental. Sometimes I walk past it and press it for the laugh, just to make him run around the house. Crazy.
Oh dear.
Alright, we've got one more. It's a little bit longer, this one. So it says, would you rather scream uncontrollably for 30 seconds every time someone asks you a question, or hum Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up in its entirety before you can answer? That's the full song.
I think just scream for 30 seconds.
Yeah?
Just because I think it'd just be fun to see people's reaction. I think that'd be quite funny.
Yeah, and you're not allowed to tell them why, and if they ask, you've got to...
That's my sort of humour, is doing things when people don't expect it. It's like when I first arrived here, first thing I said to you is, "Can I go and have a poo?"
Yeah.
I don't think you knew whether I was serious or not.
Yeah, I just pointed to the garden.
Yeah.
Line it up with Pete's.
I remember, with Tin, one of the funniest ones, with Tin Man, Rich, our keyboard player.
Yeah.
Well, when we first went into this practice room, we'd been in this practice room for a bit, and then when Rich joined the band, because we had another keyboard player first, but we never gigged, and then he decided it wasn't for him. So then Rich joined, because he knew Andy Scott, so Rich joined, and the first time, without even, obviously he'd met us all before at some stage, but he'd not met I don't think he'd met John Hardman or whatever at that time. So obviously there were some people in the band there that he'd never met, and he just walked in, he just looked around the room, and his first line, instead of saying, "Oh, hello, I'm Rich," and all this, and he just, "Has anybody ever had a wank in here?"
And John said, "Yeah, 5 this morning."
It was just I always remember that. It's just first impression of him, and I thought, huh?
See, I always think John's a good challenge as a first impression person, for especially a soft touch.
Yeah,
because he's so dry.
Oh, he's funny as hell.
If that's not your humour, people immediately just kind of go,
yeah.
I don't get him.
Yeah.
And they can't tell if he's. Does he genuinely want me to die?
He's very good at saying something really bizarre and making you believe that's what he actually means. He's very good at it. He is. He's funny.
No, when me and John when we first started working together, we were kind of like we'd clash in the first 6 months, because I was just like, I was 19 and obviously I knew everything.
And you take everything he says seriously.
Yeah, and then I used to think.
Yeah.
why is he being a dickhead to me? But it's like, he's doing it because he likes you.
Oh, it's funny. It's funny as John. He's very dry and very sharp. Very funny.
After that time, then we just became like locked. We were kind of joined at the hip for a while. At one point, I was just like, I was always at his house, just I'd set the wine glass out of his hand as he fell asleep. That's not as sinister as it sounds, by the way. Tray of kebab in that hand.
Oh dear, yeah.
And we'd just stay up all hours, just kind of like watching stuff that nobody else finds funny, really. You probably find stuff funny that
like the news.
Yeah. There's been another train crash in Scotland.
Yeah. And on a lighter note.
The amount of times I kind of slept at his house in his man cave, because he's got this like red room it's got kind of like
all his guitars
everywhere, and I just sit there like perving over all these guitars and trying to get him to sell me stuff because he's got stuff that you can't buy anymore.
Yeah.
And if you can, it's massively rare, and it's on like Reverb or eBay, and it's just equipment that you just kind of like, oh, I want that just because it's so rare. It's like, it might not even be any good anymore because there's like technology's moved on. It's like he doesn't even use it. I think he just holds it because it's just such cool stuff to have, you know. And if you can keep it, you've got the space. Why not? Like I'd just love to have that kind of collection. You've got like a green Hamer Diablo guitar, which
I remember that.
The amount of times I've offered him money, like even had the money on me, just in case he said yeah one time.
There are other forms of currency.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, have you walked up and down my street then? Yeah. But no, it's like I would never use it because it's like it doesn't really go like with my kind of image as like a scruffy little. I don't even know if I even look like a rocker or whatever, or if I look more modern day or whatever. I definitely don't look kind of 80s rock, but it suits John because he's got big hair and he wears.
I'll tell you how to
cool
upset
stuff.
John about his Hamer.
Yeah.
Do you remember that really cheap make hammer that used to get in Metal Hammer? You used to get like an amp, a lead, learn how to play book, and guitar for 99 quid. Hammer. Right, ask John if the Hamer. Ask him if it's a Hammer copy.
Yeah. Well, I'll do that. No, I'll do that before this goes out.
Ask if it's a Hammer copy. His Hamer. And you'll probably get a shot. No.
Yeah, because it don't take stupid questions well. Which I love, which is one of the things I love about him.
Even more calls to ask him then.
When we meet,
I'll ask John. Is your Hamer a Hammer copy?
It's the cheap version of a Hammer, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Because there was this really expensive one called Hammer for 99 quid with an amp, a lead, and a learn how to play book and a plectrum.
No, we if we ever like met someone new, I'd purposely try and encourage them to I'd direct them towards John, so that if I thought this one's an oddball, they're stupid, if I pass them on to John, it'll be hilarious. And especially if it was someone that knew of musical equipment, but they knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
And obviously John knows quite a lot of stuff about equipment. He's the guy to go to, really. And it's this guy come up to him once at a gig and he said, "Oh, you're a really good band and you play good stuff." He says, "But your sound's not right." And John was like, "All right," because he tends to be quite polite at first, and until he realised that you're an absolute knuckle. and then he said to
then he goes into sarcastic mode.
Yeah. And this guy was like, "Oh, what you need to do is synchronise your sound across 3 laptops," which still gives me an headache thinking about it now. I can feel blood running out of my ear. But it was just, people would reel off stuff to him, or people would go up to him and they used to go, "Oh, I used to play guitar a bit." You think, "Oh yeah."
I were in a band once, Creme Brulee, Voodoo Woman, singing all the Eurovision entry.
You sound like Phil Tower now.
It's that, off League of Gentlemen, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Les, what's his name? I were in a band. It's a shit business. I might have a tape here somewhere. Do you want one? Opens a full drawer of tapes.
I used to love that kind of humour. It's like really
it's really warped. It was kind of ahead of its time, weren't it?
I loved League of Gentlemen.
I used to quote it, and it's like I used to get excited if someone else in the room were like,
and
they join in.
The few and far between people that know what you're talking about when you quote League of Gentlemen.
Yeah, the amount of people that like, even if you have to explain it, it's not funny. It's not actually funny to me when I explain it. It's weird. It's just the way that they do it.
I mean, I always remember that funny, that really old joke where you sort of mumble, "Bums are deaf," and you what? I said, "Bums are deaf." You know, do you know what I mean? And then on League of Gentlemen,
swing.
He told it. You know them three pals, Jeff and you know them three mates.
I've not seen it for years.
They walk into a pub and one of them tells one of the others that joke. He goes, "Bummers are deaf." He goes, "What?" He says, "I said bummers are deaf." And he's going, "Oh." And then he goes to the other one, completely misses the point of the joke. And he goes, "Hey, Jeff, did you know that bummers are deaf?" And he goes, "Are they?" And he goes, "I don't know, he said it." And I just really tickled me. Just completely misses the point of it. And oh dear me.
Oh, I love it. I'm gonna have to rewatch now. What stuff have you been watching recently?
What have I been watching recently? I've not watched a hell of a lot, which is weird for lockdown, isn't it?
Yeah. I've done Netflix front to back.
I've watched quite a few movies, and I've seen but I've seen a few series that Carol watches, but I can very rarely get into series. Although I watched that Bulletproof, I think it was called, with the two black sort of undercover agents. That was good. That was really good. That's kind of. But comedy wise, I tend to just flick through, and if like they're repeating something like the Fast Show or something like that, I'll watch that. I'll watch the Fast Show, or if there's Alan Partridge or The Office or anything.
You like Alan a little bit, don't you?
Oh,
it's
my Bible.
Yeah. Sometimes you say like I can remember the last time I saw you, we were at a party, weren't we? Probably nearly a year ago. I think we're like November.
Yeah.
Well, I think once you.
I was at John's birthday party. I saw you at John's birthday. Yeah.
Not John Hardman, John Hardcastle.
John Hardcastle, yeah, and Danny Vaughan were there,
yeah. I had to apologise to him because obviously we were going back to where we were because we turned up late. It didn't matter how late you guys were. I turned up late for his gig because we were at your caravan. We'd thought, we'll phone a taxi for this time. We'll be there 10 minutes before. I can warm up, tune up, play a show. And taxi driver just kept ringing us and going, "I can't find your caravan." And we're trying to describe a caravan to him in a caravan park where everything's practically identical, especially at night time. Yeah. So we rocked up late, and people weren't happy. But we were at that party, and obviously like every like 30 to 90 seconds you drop an Alan Partridge quote in, and you know more of them than me, to the point where I'm thinking, I don't know what you're talking about.
Needless to say, I had the last laugh.
Yeah. Now, what have we been watching? We've been watching kind of like Modern Family and stuff, which it's got the guy from Married with Children, I think it's called, from years ago, Al Bundy, or whatever he was called. He plays like a granddad in it now. Right. It's really like easy watch, cheesy American humour, but it kind of works. But I always have to like revisit Peep Show. I've just got this.
Oh, I love Peep Show.
I've got this thing about Peep Show.
Peep Show's brilliant. Yeah.
Livy's not keen. I don't think it's a girl thing.
No. See, Carol doesn't really like Alan Partridge or The Office or Peep Show, or she's more. Her humour's more Friends.
Oh yeah, we can watch that as well.
I mean, it's all right, Friends. Don't get me wrong, but it's not offbeat enough for me. I like stuff that's. I'm a big Vase fan. I think the man's a genius.
Yeah.
Some people hate him, but I think he's really switched on.
I think the ones that hate him just don't understand him.
Yeah, I think he's very, very switched on.
The amount of people that say, "Oh my God, Ricky Gervais has said this about poor people or this about starving children," it's like.
Yeah,
it's a joke. He's actually if you've missed a massive part where he's taking the piss out of something else, he's just using them as the vehicle to get there.
Yeah, because to be honest with you, you've only got to watch stuff like Afterlife and stuff like to realise he is actually quite a compassionate person.
Yeah,
you can tell by his script writing in things like Afterlife, or Derek.
Yeah,
he's quite a compassionate person. Really, he's not just all vulgarity, and he is quite, you can tell the right things make him, emotional. He's quite a sensitive person, really, I think.
And he's an animal lover as well.
He is an animal lover.
To me, he says it all, really.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And you're an animal lover.
Absolutely.
How many animals have we got right now then?
At the moment, 12 chinchillas, 12 rabbits, 3 dagu, 2 aquariums, and a Geordie.
A what?
A Geordie.
What's his name? Is he like a tenant or something?
It's called Carol.
All right. He's not joking about these animals, by the way. Dale's genuinely got a zoo inside his house.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which I love, to be fair. It's like, like when you go to like Pets at Home and you think, oh, we're just going to go to a free zoo for a bit and just check it out.
My local Pets at Home have changed the name to Pets at Dale's house.
There's one near Starefoot where we live, and in Barnsley, and
Cross Keys, Starefoot roundabout.
Yeah, that's gone now.
I know it is.
It's a McDonald's now.
I know it is. Remember that place? Yeah.
I think that's where my parents met. So if it weren't for Cross Keys,
in Cross Keys?
Yeah, I
really?
think. Yeah, they're not together now. But if they're not met in there, obviously I wouldn't be in there. So
right.
You'd be talking on your own.
Tigers Eye used to do a regular spot there.
Or have bands and stuff.
Oh yeah.
There's still a pub across the road from it called the Keel.
It was a well-known venue where like Six of the Best and all sorts played there on a regular basis. All the good bands played there, really good. Yeah, Alexander's Palace and Guns and Oatcakes and they all played there. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to say that's like there's no crap there, is there, in that list really? That's all the top stuff.
No, it was a good little venue. I used to enjoy Cross Keys. Yeah. So, in fact, John Hardcastle was a regular there. At Cross Keys, Starefoot. Used to see John Hardcastle there all the time.
I didn't realise until earlier this year, because obviously I imagine everyone got bored at the beginning of this year, so everyone seemed to be online more than ever, and he were posting things about like old bands who were in, and it used to be in a band called Silverjet.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'd heard of Silverjet on the scene like maybe eight years ago, something like that. Yeah. I had no idea that he was the drummer.
I actually knew John before I knew Kev, because they were obviously John and Kev were business partners. But I actually knew John before I knew Kev, because I knew John from him coming to see Tigers Eye all the time. Because they lived across the road from a working men's club at one time, the club that we played, so we went back across to his house for some drinks and that after. So I've known John for donkey's years, and it's only really when my old band called Tickaboo Peak started gigging with Deadline, which morphed into Crimes of Passion. But Kev was the drummer, and that's the only time I really met. But I knew John Hardcastle way before I actually knew Kev. And then it just so happens, obviously, got in a band with Kev, and it turns out that they're business partners. John and Kev. So a small world.
I think I first met John. He was looking after a band that they were from abroad, and they sounded like AC/DC, I think, or I can't remember what they were called now. He were kind of tour managing, driving them around.
Yeah, name's gone. I know the band.
Is it like Bonafide or something?
Bonafide, that's the one. Yeah, Bonafide.
I wanted to say Bonfire, but I thought they were a bit
Bonafide,
more.
You're right.
They're not AC/DC sounding.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we played Yardbirds Grimsby.
Right. Okay.
I can't remember which band I were in. I think I were actually in an old band. I don't think I were in FAHRAN at the time.
When the band with we've got Adam Lavelle. Adam, guitarist Adam, who I work with.
Oh, that were when I were a teenager. I think I was like 17.
Right, that's
He's from Barnsley.
Yeah.
Yeah. That were an old band I were in called Cravings. We did nothing. You'll probably find nothing.
In my day job, obviously I'm working from home at the moment, but in my day job normally I sit next to Adam.
It's bizarre. No, they actually sacked him because they didn't want him to. They didn't.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
They didn't tell me this bit.
But they made me make the call to him.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I thought you were friends. Matt sacked you, Adam.
I know.
I thought you were pals. Sorry for talking about Matt Black at work all the time. I thought you were mates.
Yeah. I wonder why when he's writing things, pencil blades breaking all the time.
Yeah, he snapped a pen in half.
All buttons on his keys are like. No, I first joined, I replaced this other kid on vocals. I can't remember his full name, I think he was called Carl, but he seemed a really nice kid and I felt sorry for him. They auditioned me.
Poor Carl.
Yeah. and I felt sorry for him because it was Carl with a K, which was like same as my dad's, so I thought, oh, there's not many of them about. I thought, this might be the end of him. Yeah. So I thought, well, they said, I kind of answered this online ad. I thought I'll audition for this band. They sound all right and stuff. There's something we could do with this. And I said, all right. I said, your website says you've got a gig next weekend. I said, surely I'm not expected to do a gig straight away.
No.
They said, no. They said, we've still got a singer.
Right.
We've just not sacked him yet. And I went, all right. So they said,
well, you had to do it as newbie.
No, not that guy. I didn't have to sack him.
Oh, right.
So they said we're gonna sack Carl, but he's gonna do this gig, but he doesn't know it's his last gig. We're gonna tell him after the gig because we don't want to cancel. Then they said you can come along if you want. So I did, and it was really weird. And I was just sat there watching this poor guy giving it everything he's got. And to be fair, he seemed really.
Did you have to? This is Matt. Did you go? I know something that you don't. I know something that you don't.
No, I was just kind of sat there, and we were in a place called Panama Joe's in Barnsley, which is awful place. And you'd sit, the stage was like a corner. It weren't raised up; it was just a corner. And because it weren't wide enough, you'd have to have you obviously have like guitar amps on each side of the drum.
Yeah.
So you've got like a bass player and a guitarist. When you're looking at the stage on the right, you've got them two there, drum kit. And then you can't have guitar amp directly next to the drum kit because there's a door to the toilet. So the guitarist then has to be on the opposite side of the door.
People walking through a band to go to the toilet.
So you've got like lead guitarist on left hand side, and then people used to have to walk to his right between him and the singer to get to the toilet.
Yeah, I played a few venues like that.
And you see guys walking out like zipping themselves up and stuff like that.
I think one of the funniest ones, I was in a covers band many moons ago called Re-Rocks, and we played this Denby Dale sort of community centre or something, and it was somebody's birthday. They booked us. They booked us for somebody's 50th birthday, but it was a band and pie and peas evening, and the
that
door.
All right.
It was. Apart from the fact that the door to the kitchen was right in the centre of where the band's like behind the band. So we're playing, and then of course this guy turns up and needs to start sorting out his pie and peas. So there's a guy in one of them little white pork pie hats, white smock, and white Wellingtons for some reason. Kept coming straight through, middle of the stage while I'm singing, carrying massive trays with foil over the top, and then with white wellies on and a white smock and a white pork pie hat.
People think he's like part of Ramstein.
I'm just like, the hell's going on?
We once played, that was Stage Frights with John and everyone, and we played a pub on like a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon, and they got boxing on, and everyone had come in for boxing. They'd not come to watch us.
No.
And one of the main TVs were behind the band. You know, like sometimes like you'd get like a dartboard behind you or something.
Yeah.
Which it's always a bit worrying, isn't it? But there were TV behind us, and it looked like everybody were watching us. And I thought, they're well into us. Everyone's fixated on stage, not realising that there's boxing happening behind me. So every time we'd finished, they didn't clap. They were still staring at this TV screen. There was just like no sound. And I realised, and I'm talking. And then because it did seem a bit weird that people kind of like dodging left and right all the time to try and see around me to get to tell me. Right, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and then we'll be back with something even more weird.
Beyond the Nether, How Not to Live with a Mental Illness. The debut non-fiction novel from Matt Black, available on Amazon.
Dale were panicking about how seamless these videos were going to kind of be joined together for people that are watching on YouTube, and he said, is it just going to cut really quickly and suddenly a magic cup's appeared on my hand like little pop noise? No.
But apparently not.
No. There's things we can do now with technology.
It's amazing.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Just think like years ago we would have had to just write this down. Here's a Word document of the podcast.
You'd have had to have contacted me on landline.
Yeah, and then if Caroline were internet shopping, I wouldn't have been able to get through, would I?
No.
free after 6.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure you've not
Leave
gone out
it
for a
well
meal.
after 6. You speak for an hour, free.
Yeah.
After 6 o'clock.
Keep an eye on it, then ring back.
Oh, gotta go. Oh, right, 59 minutes. Right, I'll phone you back straight away. Yeah. Right, and another 59 minutes.
See, I'm in the weird kind of generation of. We got mobile phones when I was like 12, 13.
Yeah.
If you were a rich kid, you got one a little bit before that. But like, obviously, you didn't grow up with mobile phones, but I didn't grow up with smartphones. We only really got smartphones when I were like early 20s, kind of. iPhones become a thing. They've not been around that long, really, have they? Like,
well,
technology. When you,
I mean, fun for us. I would say like technology fun for us in our teens were phone box with a phone book in it, right? Phone box with a phone book. You just pick a random page. Everyone's numbers in it.
Yeah.
Just pick a random page. Oh, let's phone Mr. Thompson.
Yeah.
Like, phone it. If a bloke answers, then you say, all right, Mr. Thompson. If a woman answers, it's Mrs. Thompson. But you go, oh, hello, is that Mr. Thompson? You go, yeah, so is it? You go, hello. and then ask him again, Mr. Thompson? Yeah, who is it? Hello. And just see how long it can go before they put phone down.
That's like because obviously if you've got no money at all to call, because we used to go in phone boxes just ringing randoms all the time. This is just a thing you did, didn't you? You'd tell your mum that like that pop and crisp you were going to buy were ever so slightly more, just so you'd got 10, 20p spare. Like, oh man, we'll phone somebody in that phone booth. And it always smelled of piss.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Which doesn't go well with me, because I can literally, like, if you trudding dog crap down the road, I could smell it straight away. Honestly, up my nose, it just hones in on it immediately.
Yeah.
Everybody that like that is around me all the time, they just know straight away. But yeah, if you couldn't afford that, we used to just like knock on doors and run away.
Oh, knock and run. Yeah, yeah. Oh, do you remember?
Training to be a Hermes driver.
Do you remember that show Balls of Steel?
Yeah.
Do you remember Nedge's Urban Sports?
Yeah, you meant.
And he did one called Knock and Don't Run. You just knock
and don't run.
Yeah, not knock and run. Knock and don't run. So knock on someone's door, just a random person's door, and then just stand there and say no, and they'd be like, what? What? And then Nedge's be like, what do you want? Back at him. You knocked on my door. And then Nedge would play the part as if he was in the house. And then, you knocked on my door. What are you talking about? You've knocked on my door. What do you want? He's going, you knocked on my door. Just see how long it before the shut door on him. And then he knocks again.
See,
and then just stands there. Cowboy hat goes on. He's just like that and goes like, what? It's so funny.
See, in a future episode from this, we could get you in again, and then we could go out like on site, and you've got cowboy hat and boots and stuff like that. You could do the knock and don't run.
Absolutely.
I'll hide in a bush with a camera.
Oh yeah, they can make me up for getting my face smacked. No, you hide in a bush.
You look a bit tougher than me though.
Ricky the Rockstar, a music-related story for children, written by Matt Black. A book that teaches kids about the importance of friendship. Available now on Amazon.
Obviously, there's new music this year, isn't there? I don't know if you've heard. Obviously, AC/DC's bringing a new album out, which is rock. I don't know if you're a big DC fan or whatever. I've never seen you kind of going mental for him.
I wouldn't say I'm not mental for them, but they're obviously an absolute landmark band in rock history, and instantly recognisable. And I think I've heard one song on ARFM. I think I've heard one song, and again, it's exactly AC/DC. But why wouldn't it be? And if it was anything different, then it's not. People wouldn't want it. They're doing exactly what they're good at, what they've always been known at, and fair play to them.
Yeah, I think because you get a lot of people that kind of go, well, it just sounds like everything else. But if it wasn't, there'd be more uproar.
Well, if it does sound like anything else, it's because anything else has copied AC/DC, because they were one of the landmark sort of bands in rock, weren't they? So if that sounds like something else, it means that something else has copied AC/DC.
There's quite a few bands out there that have just kind of gone for the style, and I think realistically, like, there's only really, to me, like Airborne that are doing the DC thing and doing well out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because everyone and people just seem to accept it because they put their own spin on it. But I think it's because, like, the singer's not really, he's not trying to be Bon Scott, Brian Johnson. He's just singing his own way, and it works, and it's his own style.
No, totally. Brilliant.
There are a lot of bands out there just kind of, I need to sound like Brian Johnson, and immediately I just kind of go, nah, if I wanted to hear that, I just listen to DC. They're the ones that do it right, you know.
Yeah, totally.
It's weird. I'm a bit kind of flat about the idea that we've lost Mr. Van Halen.
Yeah.
And I'm sure John's caught up about it.
Another sort of game-changing player. You know, really was. Changed metal, really. You know, it really did.
Yeah.
He came along, and then suddenly people had to have higher, aspirations of how, he just came along and blew everybody's mind. So he upped the game for everybody.
Oh, big style.
You know?
I think that, like, people kind of talk about, like, oh, he did use these different techniques, he created things that people had never come across before. But I think from that, it kind of sent off loads of people in different directions, and it 100%. Generated that many different styles of rock and metal. Yeah. Because, I mean, some of the musicians that, like, I grew up kind of listening to, you've got like your Dimebag and stuff like that. It's like he was massively into that style, where he was brought up on that kind of music, and you wouldn't have had bands like that. And then you've got bands these days who were influenced by what he's done. So he's really snowballed something there.
Well, he's in every genre of metal. The guitarists in every genre of metal have got huge respect and have been influenced by him in some shape or form. You know, right across the industry. You know, not even a case of like, well, it is melodic rock, so that's not my style. I was never influenced. Now, everybody in some shape or form that plays guitar, really, in rock, has some twinge of influence by Eddie Van Halen, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, but a huge respect right across the industry for him.
Yeah.
You know,
I kind of like growing up playing guitar first before I was really doing any kind of singing. All I wanted to do was kind of chuck some status quo like Rick Parfitt, which granted people, they kind of see that as well, that's much easier and stuff, but to play that the way he did, I watch a lot of kind of cover bands and tribute bands. I've seen lots out there, and there's very few that can kind of like replicate that kind of rhythm technique. It just sounds a little bit, it sounds like Quo, but it's something, feels a bit empty, and obviously he's got his kind of thing with that. But then when it comes to kind of playing widdly stuff, I'd try and play a little bit more kind of that Van Halen stuff, but I just sounded like someone slowed down a YouTube video for a tutorial. I can play it, but just not as fast as him, which is massively frustrating. Do you play any instruments?
I started playing, well, I used to play in a brass band at school. I used to play cornet. But I did actually, before I was singing, I did start playing guitar. I wanted to be a guitarist because I was a massive fan of Malmsteen. And I wanted to be a guitarist.
It looks like John Hardman.
But
I'll put pictures up and you'll see.
But I don't know. I started singing and I just preferred singing. I kind of preferred singing, and then
less stuff to carry.
Well, no, it's not, because when you're a singer, you have to help carry everybody else's stuff.
I know, yeah.
So you know,
all them buckets for the notes as well.
Yeah, and because you've only got a mic to set up, which isn't just a mic to set up. You've got in-ears and all. So you've got as much as a guitarist to set up, really. When you've got in-ear monitors and this, that, and the other, you've got as much as a guitarist to set up.
Yeah.
Yeah. People don't say, "Oh, I've only got to set a mic up," so you can set lights up as well.
Yeah. My kind of in-ear setup and wireless stuff for like microphone and everything. It's quite fiddly and it's time consuming. There's not a lot.
Because I have an ambient mic as well.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so you know, so you've literally got as much, but it's all just a bit smaller. That's all.
Yeah.
It's just not in a 4x12.
It's like we've got like our bass player brings in what looks like a wardrobe onto the stage, and then I have all this little stuff, and he's done in like a third of the time that I'm done. He's just like plugged the cables in and then boom, boom, it works. And then I'm just still messing around with little fiddly stuff all the time.
Same here, yeah.
It drives me up the wall.
Yeah.
But it's still nice to kind of be the singer that you think, oh, well, I'll just kind of, I don't have to drag a drum kit around and in-ear monitors.
Yeah.
Which must just drive people insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I think drummers would want to be a drummer, eh?
Okay, I'm going to close on a little challenge for you. So I know that you were quite good at making comments to people and being completely deadpan, which is kind of the theme between like guys I know like you and John and Andy Scott and people like that can just say things deadly serious and people think that you're being serious.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you some really awful dad jokes and I'm going to see, you get a point for every time you don't smile or laugh. We'll see how you do with them. They're not great. Right then. Hope these are PC. See where we go. So number 1. What do you call a ninja with ginger hair? The Karate Kid. Oh, he's doing alright with no smile. What time does Sean Connery arrive at Wimbledon?
Oh, I do know this one. I did know this one, I've heard it.
Tennis.
That's the one.
Oh, he's doing really well. What's the difference between a pickpocket and a peeping Tom? One snatches your watch, the other watches your snatch. Oh, he's smashing it right now. I wouldn't be able to do these. Why do walruses love a Tupperware party? They're always on the lookout for a tight seal. Oh, he's got skills, he's got skills. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Dishes.
Dishes shoe.
Dishes Sean Connery. No. How do you circumcise a man from Norfolk?
I don't know.
You kick his sister in the jaw. Oh, he's so good at this. Alright, this is I've got a friend called Joe, you know Mr. Joe Lally, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
His mum, this is her favourite joke. She tells me this all the time and laughs equally as much every time she does it. Why does Edward Woodward have so many D's in his name?
Because Ewa Woo Woo's a stupid name. Is that the one?
Yeah. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Ah.
Oh.
Where was Oh, nearly. No, you knew it already.
I knew it.
If anybody's got any really awful dad jokes for any future episodes, just drop me an email on mattblackpodcast@gmail.com.
Can I test you out then?
Yeah, go on then. You can tell me some jokes as well.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
What do you call a chicken in a shell suit? An egg.
No.
He's smiling.
Have you got loads of them?
He's smiling.
Am I smiling?
He's smiling.
No, it's not funny though. I'm just doing it out of politeness.
Hey, you know, I once rattled a couple of twins.
What's that?
I once rattled a couple of twins.
Mm.
And obviously the question after is like, how could you tell them apart? I said, well, that's easy. Sarah had a little mole behind her ear. Derek had a moustache.
I've heard these before.
Terrible,
aren't they? No, and well, that kind of unsatisfying anticlimax. I apologise. But thank you so much for coming in, venturing over from sunny
worries.
Sheffield.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
I've enjoyed it. It's good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon. Cheers.